we put up notes. Some people would like an audio or a YouTube demonstration of that. So we're trying to experiment with how we can get that information out in a podcast form or, YouTube channel or whatever we do. A lot of people ask for that, so George is helping with that, so that's really good. And you're the guinea pigs. We are the guinea pigs.
So I've used voice recorder also on iPhone, and it worked pretty good.
Is that
for
an
me.
app, voice recorder?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay, and Arthur told us
I've talked quite a bit.
about
The
that.
president of the CNIB said that, well, first of all, CNIB really doesn't have in its collection many technical books, but the City of Ottawa Library does, and there's a connection there now, which is not working very well. Let's try to, I'm talking too much. It's very difficult. You only have 2 weeks in the public library if you download it into your computer. So use the CNIB, but they're trying to fix that, okay? So that you have better connections with the library and downloading, and you will be able to get technical books.
This is what he was talking about yesterday.
Were you there yesterday?
Yeah.
I was there.
Well, and
I'm sorry.
That's all right.
the other thing too is Bookshare, and we can talk about Bookshare, because you are eligible for a free membership to Bookshare, and they do have a lot of books.
Technical and educational
Textbooks and-
textbooks
Is that
and things.
Ottawa public?
No,
No.
it's a different service, Bookshare.
Is that the US one equivalent
Yes.
to CELA?
Y-
Yeah.
Well, it's not
No.
equivalent to CELA. It's
No.
not like NLS. It is, and it is for. Well, we'll let Ida introduce herself, and then we can talk a bit about Bookshare.
Go ahead.
Patricia.
Oh, Patricia's here. Okay, I
Yeah.
didn't know. Sorry.
My name is Patricia. Well, I am here also to learn more about the recording and how to use the cell phone. And I am still learning how to use my Mac. And I think that I am a little bit dependent of the CCTV, and I want to use most voiceover on my cell phone and other devices. And I have some problems also with Siri because it's difficult for me. It's not my maternal language, English, so it doesn't get what I want. So I don't try to use Siri.
May I ask, have you tried to use it in Spanish?
Well, no, the problem is because most of the time I have to communicate in English.
Okay.
I think I need to improve my pronunciation.
Okay.
Yeah, so I want to leave my cell phone or everything in English, just to be more accustomed and familiar. And well, it's all. I have to leave 10 minutes before 12.
Okay. Ida, I think.
I'd love to learn a bit about recording. I know Leona did show me at one point, and she did actually set up my CNIB library account number, and I don't even know if I can find it anymore.
I can apparently find it because I accidentally signed in as you
Yeah.
a couple of months ago and downloaded a bunch of books and then went, wait a minute, that's not me.
I was
And
curious.
I'd like to record things like my MasterCard and whatnot, so that way if I'm on the phone, I don't have to be going, somebody there to help me, pass the phone to somebody else. Anyway, yeah, so I'd love to learn about those things, and I do use Siri for emails and text messages because you kind of know who only does texts, and so I find that's really good.
And you use an iPhone, right, and a Mac?
Yeah, an iPhone and a Mac, yeah. And again, Leona put me on to just ask Siri for a recipe, which I do all the time now.
Oh, yeah?
It's great.
Oh.
But you are right. Sometimes her voice and what you're hearing is not perfect, so you do have to go over it several times. But it's great.
When she doesn't get it right a lot of times.
No, but it's great. I just ask for, blueberry muffin recipe or something, and up it comes.
Cool.
So that's really cool.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. That's my new way of cooking, thanks to Leona.
Does she cook it too?
Nah,
Darn it.
and I did bring my laptop today.
She's a bit snooty when you ask her to cook
Yeah.
for you.
Is she?
Yeah.
They do have robotic vacuums now, that helps.
They have a robotic arm that's been invented and is being tested, and it will do your dishes, and it can cook over 200 different recipes now.
Wow.
Well, does it know you lay everything out
Does it
in?
know that you
I
shouldn't
don't
add salt?
know.
You shouldn't add salt. No.
It works well in the
Probably
perfect
developed
test
by-
kitchen.
It was probably developed by the same people that made the arm for the space
Yeah.
ships.
Canada.
And I have a friend that was in on that project, so I'll have to ask him. Hard thing is, he teaches at one of the famous universities in Great Britain now, so I don't see him too often.
And it costs like $30,000 or something.
Yeah, we'll
So
have
maybe
to get
not.
one of those, right?
But imagine if you couldn't use your hands, like it would be,
Yeah.
you know, and even it could help you eat. You know how some people need attendants to
Mhm.
feed them?
And be fed by your robot.
Yeah.
Just make sure your mouth's open when it's putting food in front of your face.
I think it would.
Your head will go here.
Your nose. All right,
We
John.
unfortunately had a problem with our computers, so we had to have them all cleaned up completely. So now all the files I had on there, I'm sure they're in a backup file somewhere, which I can't find anywhere. But, and again, Leona did show me this. I don't know how to make folders anymore, and I'd like to learn how to.
On your
do that.
Mac?
Yeah.
Okay. That's not, we can show you that.
Okay, I know I was shown once before, but.
And John is here.
Okay, hi, my name is John Andrew. I volunteer to CNIB a couple of days a week, and I'm here because Leona reminded me again of this meeting.
It's a
I've
coercion.
been once before.
Yeah.
Thanks to you and
Mhm.
reminding me. As regards iPhones, no, I don't. All I have is a simple Android, which, according to the lady in the Bell office, is they call them a beginner's phones. So be it. It does what I need. So
That's
it.
right.
Is that the one from Rogers? I always forget the name.
No, it's not the Duro. It is
Duro.
a basic smartphone.
No, it's a
isn't it?
Samsung and
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
GT15
Okay.
something or other. I keep
Yeah,
forgetting what the other numbers
Probably
are.
your
but-
basic Android.
Does it
Yeah,
talk?
it
Does
is.
it talk?
Yes.
Okay, so it has a screen reader on
As
it.
long as it doesn't talk back at you, right?
Mm.
And
Does
for
it
the
cook?
future, you think about this arm, I'm looking forward to the days when the self-drive cars are available.
Yeah,
They
we're
are
all
available. Self-drive cars are available.
So I
In
can,
California, so
To
we'll
the
have to
general
move down there.
But
public.
are they legal?
yeah, the problem is,
In California, I believe they are, I'm not sure.
You can buy it, you just can't drive it.
the thing is,
Yeah,
problem
that's
with,
In the back 40 somewhere.
problem with
The back.
self-drive car would appear, I do the voice, when I'm sending text messages, if it's a long one, I do the voice. And
It would probably do all of that if it's all electronics to be able to drive down roads. Actually, I know Google was experimenting when they were taking all the pictures for Google Maps 2 years ago, but I'm not sure. And the last I heard, there was some Japanese company that was developing them. for people.
It'll be interesting to know what happens, and I guess not ethical, but the issue is, even if they are self-driving, would they give us licenses, like anyone who can't actually physically take over if something happened? That's the other part of
You
it.
know, I still wouldn't trust them on the road anyway, because it doesn't mean, like, this car may not run into anything, but it's not preventing others from running into
Exactly,
us.
that's my.
You know.
Well,
you get
that's,
a software fail, and now what do you do?
And the test run that they did across, like in Europe, they did it across the country. On foggy days, it would pull over to the side of the road and it wouldn't drive because it didn't have enough
Which isn't
visibility.
necessarily the most
That's right.
best thing to do either.
Some other
However,
company
if the
does that.
visibility is that bad, then maybe nobody should be driving.
Exactly.
So I don't know.
It's interesting, it'll be interesting to see what happens.
My thing was.
GTT will have to start offering driving lessons.
Yeah.
That's the other thing I would
Lessons.
like to do, I want to mention is, I thought I had signed up to receive the newsletter, the blog.
Oh, the blog, okay.
But
You're not getting it?
I'm not getting it.
Okay,
Check your spam filters as well,
I check them all
Okay.
the time.
'cause it
Okay.
Every
goes,
day.
it's been going in, some days it goes into my spam and some days it goes
Oh,
into my mailbox.
okay.
But that's because we have a new,
all right.
we had a
Um,
virus attack.
I'll
so we're
have
all
to maybe try
hyper
you
protected.
again, subscribing you again and see.
Sure, thank you.
All right, so should we do a couple little presentation on, well, should we talk a little about Bookshare and then maybe a little about recording?
Sure.
Doing recording?
George isn't here, does that matter?
Oh, well,
He
This
left.
is the part we want him for.
we
isn't it?
sort of want him.
Presumably
Have you
coming
got
back.
my email there for,
I'll get, your email for what? For the blog?
yeah,
Oh, okay. Now, if I do subscribe, any of you, maybe I'll take anyone's email that's not subscribed to the blog that wants to be, but the thing too is with the blog, you will get an email, even if I do the initial subscription, you'll get an email which says, you've been subscribed to the GTT blog, and then please click here to confirm. So you just have to click on the link there to confirm it. So maybe sometimes people, I think I had subscribed a couple people, not necessarily people in this room, but people, and then they didn't realize that that wasn't a spam, that email. So it could be possible that that went into spam too, and you didn't do that second step. So can I write so you want to be subscribed?
Yep.
Could you tell me your email?
Sure,
So
so
just
it's
P,
F,
F,
C,
C,
O,
O,
T, T,
T, T,
E,
E, E,
at
Rogers.com.
Rogers.com.
Okay, subscribe to the blog. And you wanted it, eh, John?
Yeah.
So it's John,
underscore,
what is underscore in Braille?
I don't know.
Is it
oops,
456 something? Okay, I'll
But I've
write
never had to
underscore.
write it.
I'll write it out. And what is it on the keyboard? Is
Would
it
that be a contraction, an under?
Underscore is
figure-
the shift
figure-
dash.
shift dash? Okay, yeah. Oh, I'm gonna write shift dash. You're gonna have a very long email address because I always forget what it is.
well,
John
to
underscore
H
H
underscore Andrew, H
underscore
as in Henry,
Andrew. Okay,
at simpatico.ca.
simpatico.
I got an iPod, it's like.
It's an old one, yes, I'm not gonna change it.
Simpatico.ca. No, don't change it. I just forget. Anyone else needing to be subscribed to the blog?
What is the blog?
The blog is something that we created before everyone was on an email list where I would
George
send
is back.
George. In a minute, we're gonna do two little presentations.
Okay, cool.
Originally I was sending out emails and people, I had a sort of a distribution list, but it seemed that it was getting too big, and actually George said, well, why don't you just have a blog and then you can do it you can post once and everybody gets it. So the blog is news about GTT, and it is other things, the national conference call, and there'll be articles of notice, and there's things about other groups of GTT and other places. But you guys have been very great and patient. People in BC have been emailing me saying, we should have a separate one. I don't want to read all this other stuff. And it's like, no, you can't have a separate one. You know, like, why? Just delete. The subject lines are clear, so just delete if you don't like it. So anyway, everyone here has been very polite and never said that to me, so that's good. Anyway, so what it is once you're subscribed to it, you'll get an email, and the email will, in the body of the email will be the message from the blog. So I only have to write it once and send it to the blog, and then everybody, and there's probably now 120 or something more, somewhere.
To Hope of Peace, BC, for example, like I remember looking at the blog one time and it said hit the main menu, and then with the main menu, brings you a drop down, and you could drop down box and you could choose what region you're from and have that.
Yeah,
Hit
you
that
can.
And that region will come up for them, so they don't have to look at every other
You
region.
can. We also, but what we did was, we make sure that in the very top of the message, it says exactly what it is. So it's a meeting, or it's a note from a meeting.
Mhm.
Because sometimes people want to read the notes from other people's meetings to see what they talked
Yeah.
about. So it's just easy. We try to be very clear in what we post the subject line. So it's okay. If you see a subject and it doesn't interest you, then you just hit delete.
If people complain about it, then they can just go physically to the blog once a week.
Yeah, that's what
and
I
check
told
their
them, and they
region.
can check,
That-
they can check
okay.
everything.
Yeah,
Oh,
they
you're
just-
able to do
The
that?
onus would be on themselves.
Yeah, so
It's like a
you
web
can go to
page.
the blog, it's like a web page, so you can
Right.
actually physically go, if you don't want things coming in your email, you can go and just go by heading or search by,
Yeah,
you
well,
know.
that's what I'm trying to say. One time I was able to find the heading and then search to what area I
Yeah.
wanted to read. Other times I wasn't able to do that.
Well, we've been playing with setting up a blog. There are so many settings, you wouldn't believe
Oh,
how many.
I know, I'm
So,
sure.
we've been slowly working through all the settings to see, okay, what do we need to set this at? But it's it's complicated, and so Lauren has been doing a lot of that for me, and he's not here today because he has a guide dog.
Oh yeah, have you heard?
Yes, he has a male black lab, I believe,
Oh.
and I can't remember the name of it. So
He was going to Oregon.
he was going to Oregon, yeah. So anyway, but he's been, poor guy, should have a master's in something because there's millions of settings there. So we're gradually working through, and then we had a meeting about what are the difference between tags and categories and all this. Yeah, it's a bit complicated, but it's good. So,
Great site.
so Nancy, are you checking emails yet?
No, I don't know how to do
Okay.
emails. But do you do texting?
We could text you, what could we do? Could I text the whole message of a post to her? I guess I could.
Most texts only accept 120
Yeah.
characters, but I know
They're usually longer.
Apple, I've sent stories.
If I texted you the link each time or once in a while
She's
to
not
remind
there
you? Okay, you're not there yet. Maybe just check with Leona for now, and she'll,
Yeah.
or me, and just give us a call, one of us a call, and we'll keep you posted,
Okay.
you know, and
Maybe
then,
just call on the Monday or Tuesday of the third week of the month,
Yep.
just to make sure.
just make sure we're on.
Yeah, that we're here, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We should always be, but
Yeah.
you never know.
Yeah, but once you that'll be a goal for you to get to the point where you can read the blog. I think that'll be nice.
Okay.
So maybe we'll do a little bit about Bookshare and a little bit about recording, and and then we can break up into littler groups and help each other with what we need help with.
Sounds good.
Does that make sense?
On her phone, there's a microphone,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
picture of a microphone.
yeah,
Is that where you do microphoning?
That's dictate
yeah.
That's dictating.
or Siri, depends on when the picture appears.
Uh-huh.
But you could also have an app that its picture is a microphone.
Um,
So there's multiple
I
options.
don't know.
Yeah.
So if you're in a message, like an email message or a text, when you see that microphone, that's to dictate the text of your message.
Right.
And if the screen's totally black and there's just a little picture of a microphone near the bottom of the screen,
Yes.
that's Siri.
Okay.
And if you're on your home screen and you see a picture of a microphone, then that would probably mean you've downloaded an app that does recording.
Okay.
So it depends on
So
where you're seeing that microphone.
And some of the,
So if I was at a meeting like this now,
Mm-hmm.
I could put a recording on and then record everything that's being said.
Yes, you.
Possibly if you have an app that records,
But
What's
the
an app? What's an app?
like a program.
a program.
Program on your phone.
Okay, like I said, I don't know.
these
what
are
that-
all apps, here Nancy, the little things inside there.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
Those are all
Leon's or
apps.
Gayon's or.
But you have to become more comfortable with the basic features of your phone before
Yeah.
that is
You
going to
get
be
into
something.
that.
One of the
you could use
updates
easily.
also, when you're in your text, if you hit it, also records your voice and sends your voice rather than the text.
Yeah, if you
Mhm.
have iOS 8.
Yeah.
I sent
Which-
Kim a text of a bus.
Yeah, that was funny. And then she sent me a happy birthday with a singing happy birthday text.
Wow.
I was on a bus and the GPS had been turned into like South African, like Afrikaans, the voice,
Yeah, yeah.
and it was at high speed.
It was
So the GPS was just like,
it was very funny. The bus
like,
announcement.
what? Where am I?
How do you spell Siri?
S-I-R-I.
S-I-R-I.
So would you like me to start with Bookshare.
Sure, okay.
George, is it best if I hold the microphone for the actual presentation, or is it okay where it is?
It's okay where it is, but if you hold it, I will get better audio on you.
Okay, may as well then.
It's caught in between the two tables, there's lots of room.
Yeah,
So
I
maybe
think it's okay
save
now.
Save your questions till, we'll just do a little presentation on
Yeah,
Bookshare.
we'll just do a very short presentation. So Bookshare is sort of an online resource in the States that was designed to help blind and visually impaired people or people with print disabilities to have access to a wider variety of reading material. All of the books are sort of a text format. And the way it works in the States, they have less stringent copyright laws than in Canada. So in some cases, as soon as a publisher puts a book out, they're giving Bookshare the text version of it. In other cases, an individual may actually be at their home, a blind or visually impaired individual. They are scanning their book into their computer for their own use, and then they give it to Bookshare so that everyone who is blind and visually impaired can have access to that material. So everything is in a text format. Via the website, you can either download the text format, or you can set it so that it pre-records in a synthesized voice and sends it to you as an MP3 file. And that synthesized voice apparently is quite a high quality of voice, so it does sound very human and realistic. But it does take a longer time because Bookshare in the background has to create the file and then send it to you. Whereas if you download just the basic text file and then listen to it either on your Victor Reader Stream or on an iPhone using the Voice Dream Reader app or Read to Go app, or there's a couple of other apps you could use as well. You can also download it into your computer and listen to it from, what's the free Daisy app? Do you remember, Kim?
On
Amos.
oh,
You can also download it and have Amos read it to you. So in Canada, we've made CNIB has made an agreement with Bookshare, and CNIB's normally there's a cost for Bookshare. I think it's about $100 a year, or something around that. But it doesn't really matter.
50,
Yeah, your first membership is a different cost than your yearly.
75
75.
for the first and 50 after that, but it doesn't matter
It
to us.
Doesn't matter now because CNIB's made an agreement so that your Bookshare membership cost is covered. So you just have to fill out a form that is accessible, that you can get from either the CNIB library webpage, the CELA library webpage, or you can get it directly from Bookshare. You fill out that form. You do have to send in a photocopy or a scanned image of your CNIB card, or have it can be signed off by a CNIB staff member if you don't have a CNIB card. And once you send that in, you then get your free membership. It renews itself annually. And then
Who would you contact for the person at CNIB?
it just needs to be any of the ILS instructors. I recommend Richard right now because he's done it and knows what to do.
Okay,
Sally and I haven't done it, so you'd end up having to wait for us to ask Richard what to do.
okay.
But otherwise, if you have a CNIB card, you just
'Cause what I don't.
send a
I don't
picture
have
of
one,
it.
That's why I was asking.
Okay.
'Cause I applied prior to getting my CNIB library set up in Canada
Mm-hmm.
for the CELA. Somebody didn't call me till about a month and a half later or
Mhm.
whatever. So I applied for the Bookshare first,
Mm-hmm.
and I get a response, it'll cost $75. So
Can
I've never replied back, so
Okay.
that's not
Okay.
an issue. I'm having.
You, I think you can get, George, can you edit out like some of this stuff, or is it okay? Okay. I think you can get another proof. Like, it doesn't have to be a CNIB card, but it's, oh, wait, no, it does, yeah.
Yeah, because you have to prove that you have a reading disability, but that's why the CNIB staff, we've figured out there is an arrangement where we can, I don't know if it's a special form or if Richard just has to send an email to Bookshare and saying
Okay.
this person does have a,
What I did myself,
print disability?
because I have a card, like the CNIB card, is I took a picture of both sides and emailed that to Bookshare, and they
Yeah.
took that.
That would be typically what you do, but he doesn't have a
Yeah,
card.
so you don't have a card, so
Mhm.
that,
Cause I'm not quite to the point where I'm blind
Yeah.
completely.
So if you're not legally blind, you wouldn't have the
That's
ID
right,
card.
yeah.
But there's been an arrangement made, and Richard knows more about it than I do, as it's just been made, where we can sign off for you and say, yes, he does have a legitimate print disability. He does qualify for Bookshare.
probably because with CELA, with the new CNIB library type service, it's not just blind, so that's probably why it falls into that.
Yeah, it's any print
Yeah,
disability.
Any print disability.
The thing that is great about Bookshare, because they are just basic text files, sometimes the publisher gives the text immediately when they release the book. So you can get a book, the day after it's been released. You don't have to wait for it to go on a list and then be recorded and then saved in the CNIB library information. You can get it right away. The other great thing is because it's a wider array of readers, you can get a lot of technical manuals that people have scanned in themselves or that the publisher has given. You can get textbooks, so students that are in school, or if you just are more of a reference book reader opposed to fiction reader. You can get those books. You can get a lot more nonfiction, reference, all of that sort of thing. So it is quite a wide variety. You can also download a wider range of reading levels. So you can get children's books, so that if you want a copy of a book so that you can, listen to it in an ear while you're reading a book to a child, so that you know what's being said. There's that option. You can then put it into Braille, because you can download it in a Braille file, read it on your Braille note, or print it out, whatever you like to do. So it's just a great addition, I find, to the library resources, because it has a wider array of options.
We had a national conference call on Bookshare last week, and someone said something really interesting, that they sometimes get the Bookshare book and the audio book from CNIB, because some books are complicated and you want to be able to check the spelling of names or the page numbers or who's doing what. If it's a complicated book or some kind of nonfiction book, but they prefer listening to the voice, the natural voice, not the synthetic voice, they'll get both, and then they can quickly find something in the Bookshare version, which I'd never thought of that at all before.
That would be especially helpful for students who need to take out
and
chunks
page
for
numbers, and they want page
to do
numbers.
reference.
So
I'm trying to get the natural voice, like I have the iBooks, I have a bunch of iBooks, but the only way I can listen to them is with voiceover, right?
yes,
And it's a synthesized, and I'm so used to the natural voice,
yeah.
so that's one thing I'm trying to also figure out.
With
So-
VoiceStream Reader, you can get the high quality. They are still synthetic, but they're a bit higher quality voices.
And it's called, sorry, what's it called?
VoiceStream, all one word.
Right.
VoiceDream.
Voice Streamer, Voice
Reader.
Streamer, Reader.
Reader, yeah.
Okay.
VoiceStream Reader. It's a great app. You can also put CNIB books in there, which is what Arthur's granddaughter did. You can put.
So what's the best app? I gather earlier, I think I was asking, like, I know you mentioned Voice Streamer, and there's another one
Direct to player.
yeah, I downloaded that a couple, 20 minutes ago. Which
There-
is the better, Voice Streamer or Direct to Player?
It depends on your usage.
Okay.
The CNIB Direct Player app will only play you books from the CNIB.
Okay.
And it's going to download the actual human voice books and play those. Like, it'll download them as DAISY or MP3 files. VoiceStream Reader is the app that you're going to be most successful and most enjoyable reading any kind of e-text or Bookshare, Gutenberg. You can, of course, download CNIB books into that as well, but there are a few more steps than if you use the CNIB Direct to Player app.
There are two versions of VoiceStream Reader, by the way.
Oh,
You
yeah.
can download one for free, which is useless, or pay $12.
It's a great $12. I think it's one of the best $12
Yes,
I've ever
exactly.
spent.
Don't get that cheap.
So like many things that we discuss with technology, there's usually not one solution to everything. it often works out that you're going to want to use one app or one device for this task and one device for this task. And the trick is sort of balancing and finding out, you know, what works best for you and what your preferences are, and you know, sort of what you can afford and what you want to carry around with you.
So any
The-
book I have in iBooks, can I move it over or?
No,
No.
no, it's protected. Unfortunately, you can't. The direct-to-player app is still a little buggy. It's sometimes, I've been getting these error messages when I've used it. I'll be reading along, listening to a book, and I'll get an error message, and then I just hit OK and then keep reading, and I get another one. It's a little bit buggy still. And when I went in the help section, there was no one to contact to send feedback. So I'm not even sure how to send. I'll send it to CNIB Library itself, but I was hoping I could talk to the app developer about some of these bugs, but they don't seem to be available.
So you can't write a review?
Well, you can write a review, but you know how usually in the help section of an app, there's something that says give feedback?
Okay.
There was nothing like that.
Because sometimes the developers actually read these.
Oh, yeah, they probably do, but I want to give them the chance to fix it if they.
Yeah, I think it's still a little bit under development
Yes.
because they haven't done an official big launch yet.
Now, the other thing about it is you do have to go on the CNIB site and load books into the bookshelf for direct download, or you have to talk to CNIB Library to get the books put on your bookshelf for the direct-to-player app, because they take a different format.
Okay.
So we could talk this through in more detail if you want, but
Sure.
should I do a little bit about recording, audio recording?
Going back to voice stream, somebody said it's $11.99, but it also indicates that there's in-app purchases. What would they be?
They are extra voices.
Oh.
It comes with one voice. It would be a cappella Heather, I think.
Okay.
But there's all kinds of languages, and like people I know who speak more than one language download different language.
Right.
And you can go into the settings and to add voices,
Okay.
and you can play samples. And if you want one, I've bought a few. I bought a British English voice and that James.
I
So I'm
buy
just
I buy
downloading it
voices
now.
based on the reader.
Yeah.
So if I'm reading a book that is
I know.
taking place in England,
have a
then I
British
bought a British voice, and I was reading a book that took place in Ireland, so I bought an Irish voice because
Sure, why
Was
not?
there an
makes
Irish
it
voice?
yeah,
Make
it
it
just
more
makes it sound more realistic.
And the voices are about $2 or $3 mostly,
Right.
so they're not. And the nice thing is they'll transfer over. So if you had an iPhone and an iPad, when you open the second, your iPad or your iPod,
Sure.
you'll say restore voices, and it just puts them all. And the other thing is if you get VoiceStream Writer, which is now a word processing editing app, they import all your voices from VoiceStream Reader. So if you've bought something once, you don't have to ever buy it again. So that's what that is. So should we quickly talk about recording, and then do you want me to hold that or?
I've got it
Okay.
pointed at you.
So there's many blind people need to do some sort of audio recording, and there's many ways to do that. There's pros and cons of different ways. You can buy a specialized recording device, such as the Victor Stream, or the Plex Talk, or the BookSense, which is now, I guess, discontinued, which will have a record button on it, and will make recordings directly into that player. And Leona mentioned that with classes. Sometimes those players are really good because they have physical buttons, but also because you can put in bookmarks and you can kind of make it easier to skim through that. So a lot of people do have those devices, and you, depending on what you got through Assistive Devices program, you might be eligible for one of those talking book devices. That would be considered a reading aid, I believe, Leona, right?
Correct.
Under your ADP. And Leona or Richard, as CNIB ILS staff, could authorize that for you if you needed. Now those devices, the Victor Stream and the Plex Talk Lineo, are about $369, I think. The new Blaze Easy or Blaze, when they make another one, that's quite a lot more expensive because it also lets you scan and read. So there's that option. Some people buy commercial recorders, which is what Arthur did. The Zoom series. Some people also like the Olympus series as well. And those can work. You have to check out the various types though, because some of them don't have actual buttons or are difficult to use. So that's another option. Another option is to use recording apps or things on your iDevices or your computers. The iPhone always comes with voice memos, which is an application that comes with your phone. I believe the iPad does not come with that though. I think iPhone and iPod Touch have voice memos. And
It's
the
an app built in?
yes, called voice memos, but I believe the iPad does not come with it.
Maybe that's what I've been using, voice memos.
It isn't bad. I find it a little fiddly sometimes, although it's gotten quite a lot better. It used to just label your recordings on with the date, and I would forget, but now you can actually put in a title for them, so it makes it a little easier to use. The buttons are labeled in voice memos. It's not a bad system. You can play back. You can't really audio edit them. I think you can trim the beginning and end, but you can't do much with them though. I've played around with a few other apps that I like for audio recording. There's one called List Recorder, and it is really good because you can group it in lists, and you can make, when you start playing a recording, it actually plays the first few seconds of each one, or you can set it like that so you can hear a little bit and say, oh yeah, that's what I want to listen to. This is what I do.
List Recorder's a separate app?
List Recorder, you have to buy that. I think it might be, it was a long time since I bought it, but might be $3 or $4. I can send you the actual link to List Recorder if anyone wants it. The other one I like, if anyone has a Dropbox account, which is, Dropbox is a service which lets you put files, share files between your computer and your devices. There's an app called Dropvox, V-O-X, and you can record with it, just basically record and stop, and the minute you finish, it uploads it into Dropbox. So it's now available to you on all of your devices, on your computer, and it has its own little folder in Dropbox for you. So
Not for List Recorder, it automatically goes into Dropbox?
no, Dropvox, D-R-O-P-V-O-X,
Right.
goes into Dropbox. List Recorder does not. List Recorder just keeps it. So those are the two. I've tried a few others, but those are the two that seem to be well labeled and I like on my iDevice, are those two. Anyone, do you have any, Leona, any other?
I use an app called TM or TW Recorder. I forget which it is. Let me see.
I haven't heard of that one.
TW Recorder. So that's the one that I use. It's very simple. It lets you put in titles and you can move around within the recording fairly easily. The only challenge that I sometimes find is if I'm using my iPhone as the recording device, then I can't use my phone. So sometimes, you're in a meeting and you want to be able to look something up, but your phone is the device you're using to record. Or, a text message comes in that I want to respond to, or a phone message, and that sort of because it's a multitasking device, sometimes that interferes with the recording itself, or just interferes with my ability to use the device for other purposes. So there are circumstances when a recording device, even though it means I have to carry things, it doesn't limit my ability to use the
limit to anything on your phone is you would, through various, email it to yourself. More complicated, but if you want your phone and just listen back on your phone, then that's fine. But yeah, it does tie up your phone. It could deplete your battery too, if a long stint of something.
So once again,
Is that the one?
oh, you recorder.
So
Okay.
what phone was
So we can't everyone are so many options, and it depends on your skills and ability afterwards. You know, it's exploring the options and situation. And
Position or some question people ask is advice. I've never has, but I get into the bottom of your. Do you then voiceover won't.
Your stereo?
Voiceover wouldn't come out then if you use Jack. That could be an issue for. Have you met anyone at least a mic with their phone?
the reader stream, for example, or a mine who needed to use it. Generally, you're not to create high quality things that you're going to be, you know, sending out in a portfolio.
I got at Future Shop for $6. Not Future Shop, just to be a curiosity, and it was good. You shirt, so it was good if you're putting your clip on my closer to my mouth, and it was nice. But again, a lot of them are average.
At the grad group last month or the month before, they had a ladies choir in there. Actually recorded the singing and it sounded very well.
And what?
Just the iPhone.
Yeah, just your or whatever.
I actually an app that cost a bit. Apparently professionals use this too, and I found it on the Apple website.
What's it?
It's called MIC.
Filmic. And is it accessible with, do you find? Or, but I mean, voiceover? Issue with some of the recording.
Never tried it, so
Yeah. Sometimes try it, turn up and record button, because correctly, so they're not. Break up and help each other a little bit. Coffee and tea, if people want some coffee or tea. And I forgot cookies, which a hammer?
yeah.
For what?
Put this chair aside because it's got a nail or something sticking up and it's really hurt on my leg.
Oh, that's not good.
Yeah, so that's why I was asking for a hammer.
Change chairs.
Yeah,
So,
I will. I'm gonna put this aside.
so who wants to do what? So Arthur needs some help with
Yeah,
his
but
Zoom.
somebody has to see because you have to read the manual.
Well,
Can you help me?
maybe George could help you.
I could definitely give you.
And
Mike's confused by
who
the
else wants help with?
I have to show Nancy again how to start her talking typer.
Okay. Ida, do you want? Who wants help with what? I'm.
Turn it on to record, stop recording.
Ida, do you want me to help you with folders or something, or
Sure, that would be great.
and
Nice, thank you.
or
Patricia can probably learn from that as well.
okay. So, because we don't have a low vision guy, so I don't know, John. What is there anything you want to see or do or know?
No, I came, as I said, I came.
Maybe you
I've
can.
only been once before, and once I get here more often.
Would you like to get your
then yes,
computer
I'll
out and start
probably
loading it up?
things, but
Does
at the
anyone
moment-
want coffee or tea?
I'd love a tea. I can find where it is.
Okay, it's on the
Directly behind you.
table.
What is Foursquare? It's another app, right?
GPS.
Yes.
People aren't using that anymore that
Or
much.
not really.
It's a
GPS app.
check-in kind of check-in app.
Like you can create locations at different places, so then you can check in and
So
say,
that's
I'm
what-
at Starbucks.
That's what Cam was
I'm
using
at-
the other day. maybe.
No, it's different.
No, I use
Blinds?
Blind
Although they do
Square.
connect.
They-
That's what I'm wondering.
They
'cause
get
when I-
data. They get data from Foursquare for
Okay.
Blind Square.
I was just.
But
And
they
you
don't.
need both apps installed?
No. I don't have Foursquare.
Because I installed them both, that's why I was asking, but it doesn't
It's,
matter.
how much
No.
vision do you have?
Foursquare is
On and off
kind
and
of
stuff
helpful
like
for
that,
certain
or-
things.
Well, no, not
Like
recent,
in my,
but keep
I
going.
used it to find a dog park, a dog
So-
run in my neighborhood. That wasn't listed. You know, you normally wouldn't find it just walking around with a normal
How did you?
GPS app.
Was that?
But because people had created it as a location, and we're like checking in to say we're at the dog park,
Okay,
Oh.
like you can look through the,
Yeah.
your
And
what's
then
close to you.
that button will
Well,
start
what would
going.
that be under?
When you press that
Recreation?
button, There's a light.
I was
up
under
there that will
search
light
for
up.
dog park.
So,
Okay.
there's
Oh,
Search
I
for
see.
dog.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right there. There are two
Interesting.
lights that you should look for.
So George is showing, oh, that's good, because he needs help. So what would you like
So that's your
to
first thing to know whether it's on or off. So right
do,
now it's off.
Paul?
And then
Oh, he's getting
reporting
tea.
that red light.
I'm thinking of,
What's the on-off button?
The on-off
So I
is all
could-
the way at the
how
top,
to use, well,
right-hand side. There's the
Do you
USB
want me
port
to
at the very bottom. And then
Oh, I'm gonna get,
that is a
the
slide
blind
switch.
square, I think I sort of have
For
it
charging and
Yeah.
for transferring to
down pat, because I was able to say from my house to here,
right?
and it, you know, even when you're on the bus,
You'll probably want to use.
and you're setting facing, for example, north on the
Yeah.
bus,
Yeah, it tells
and
you.
it'll tell you at 3 o'clock, we're heading to James Street. or
Oh, I
whatever.
know, it's great.
It's fabulous.
It's,
I just don't like it having to repeat itself every 2 or 3 seconds.
you can change that.
That's what I need help with.
You can change two things, and I'm trying to remember the difference. So one is you can change how much it announces, like what it announces.
In the settings, right?
Yes.
So there's
Like,
look around your location, around me, recent places, nearby intersection, GPS info, weather, contacts, braille display.
That means, no, that
oh no, maybe it's in tools. Maybe it's in tools. Let me have a look.
No, peaking is what happens.
Let me have a look in tools.
Yeah, I have a wrench, so that's the tools. That's what I'm in. Tools.
Okay. Is there a filter? I know there's like filter announcements. Let me just.
When you turn it on, but.
Is this a braille typewriter or something? you're
It's a
using?
braille note taker, so I have it paired with my phone.
I think this is your cane. I'm just
Oh, it's
gonna-
Leona's, I think.
Okay. Hey, Pitch, what do you say? It's over here.
Lydia, come on this side. Stay there, okay? Okay, let me go in blind square. Can I help you in a little minute? I'm just helping Paul a little bit, Ida? Is that okay? Are you okay? Are you good? Okay. Blind square, blind square, blind square. I could navigation.
Oh, yes, there's text for those of you who can see.
Blind square.
So you'd be able to see.
Where is it? Blind square. There it is. So here we go. So now it's okay. Shared places, my places. Mute. No, not filter announcements. It's on the main screen.
Red light has lit up.
On the main screen. So
Okay, so there's
there's
filter
filter
all.
announcements.
So I
Okay.
have filter all.
Yeah, so that would announce everything.
Right, I don't want that.
And then you can have it announce.
Streets only, my places, streets, my places.
So my places are anything you marked as a favorite. So say if you came here and then you decided to add that as a favorite, it would be my places.
So it's probably just better to use streets only, not everything.
Yeah, it depends. I think sometimes if you're in a new place and you
Okay.
sort of want to know what's there,
Yeah.
you could do everything. But
Sure.
I've set it sometimes to streets, and I've also set it to my places if I'm in a familiar
Okay,
route
so
and I
that's
don't
one
need
thing.
the
There was
street.
one other thing you said to set up possibly.
Yeah, there's now where is that? That's like
Then I can, what I do is I can.
other. Would it be under? Let's see.
That's really hard to find.
Settings.
Where the
Help.
buttons are. I asked for the
Okay,
button
let's
type
go in
and
settings under other.
I need to sort of get a big picture.
So select enable blind square help. Okay. Track destination automatically. Shake gesture. Intersection announcements distance. So that's one thing you could do the distance, like it's set at medium for me right now.
Mine's at 25 meters.
And distance unit you can set for meters.
Meters or feet or yards.
And
or-
the style is to the clock face or the direction.
I have it set for 12, that's
Yeah.
fine.
And the
I can't find
sound.
that though. Where do you find that? I know where the meters is, or
Okay, just above the meters,
there's a
Distance unit.
magnifying glass, and then there's a
there's
settings.
intersection. Okay, so when you're in other, it's called other to me. Let's see. I'll turn my, so
Okay,
beside
so is it in
Foursquare,
settings?
yeah, it's in settings.
Okay,
holding it.
So if you
when
go
log
into
in.
settings,
Shake
The
just
bottom
intersection
control
announcement,
Yeah,
distant,
so-
medium.
so the intersection announcement distance, like some people want it only right
That makes it file
where it
automatic.
is, you know, right when you get there. Some people want it ahead.
I have it medium, so that's
That's
fine.
what mine is too, at medium. Now let me see also if we're in tools. I'm just gonna see,
So those
'cause
two
there's-
buttons change the volume.
there's another thing, your
Who-
location, oh wait.
Oh,
around
use
me,
headset remote to control.
recent places, nearby intersections. But there's another thing, I'm gonna have to look up what that is, but there's another thing of how far, but you could try that with the, just saying the streets and see how,
Sure,
whether
that
that
will
makes,
help for sure.
like, I think it'll make a difference. Filter announcements. You can also mute speech if you're, sometimes I've done that if I was somewhere where I didn't want it to say everything.
I have a Bluetooth, so I just stick it in my ear, but you could
Yeah.
also, if you have your mic, you could actually,
Accuracy 65 meters. I
okay.
wonder if you can change that.
You can, because I have mine at 25 meters.
Okay, so you can
And I
change.
just changed it to 65, so I could do that.
Well, that was what the basic one
Okay.
was. So
Okay.
that's what I had it at. But then sometimes, again, you might want more, you know, like if you were
Right,
somewhere, you might want more. I mean, if you're in a new place,
yeah,
or if you moved into a new neighborhood, you might want to turn it on to announce everything
yeah,
so you know
that's, I
what's
understand,
there.
yeah, yeah.
Because I've lived in my neighborhood for many years, and when I first got blind here, I was walking up,
If your point is
and
the
it's
same
like, there's a
pattern,
restaurant here,
then you
really?
need to turn it off.
Okay,
Like, oh, I didn't know
If
that.
you're
It's right at the corner of my
exactly-
street,
Okay.
like some diner, and I'm like, whoa, and then I was walking, there's a coffee shop, do.
so this is a neat device. This communicates with the iPhone,
Yeah,
and then you can feel the dots.
it's called refreshable braille display.
Yeah, it's
So
pretty
I pair
amazing.
it with that, and then I can read anything in braille, and I can do anything I want.
Amazing.
in
I'm only
braille.
starting to learn Braille. I've
Are
been
you?
learning
Are you
for a
going?
month.
Is Mary teaching you?
Oh, she started teaching me, Mary Sweeney,
Mary
yeah.
Sweeney, I like
She calls me every Sunday, yeah.
She
yeah.
calls you every Sunday.
Make sure I'm going, but
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
pretty reliable generally.
No,
That's why when I say I'd like to go, and then all of a
Yeah,
sudden I
she's-
couldn't make it, I thought I should let you know, you know.
She's a nice
Oh,
person.
she is, and she just lives around the corner from me,
Oh, do you
actually.
live that far?
I live near Bay Shore. I live off the corner of Richmond Road and Demore.
Oh,
So I live on Barwell.
have you met Shelley Morris?
It's the
She lives out there too.
button
There are a lot of people.
Shelley Morris?
Yeah.
No, I can't say I have.
Oh, let's see.
Hi. Oh, do you want?
Leave it.
You'll say-
It's over here behind us.
Toolie Roo? Toolie, come here. Oh, she wants to go in the
It's on
sun.
page 5.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, she in the sun?
Yes.
Okay, she loves that, so she
Yeah.
can stay in the sun. So Ida, do you want me
But
to help you
when you're
do a
playing
folder
back-
on your Mac?
Whichever recording.
You wanna sit here?
No, it's
So
okay, I
we're
think.
playing that
So when you're, or unless you guys wanna discuss
Oh, okay.
and
devices
All right,
and
Patrice
phones.
and I
in the center, and
will learn together.
so I
Okay.
just tweeted that
Is there
on
a
the-
garbage around somewhere?
There should be, there used to be one over by that door, sort of under that table.
Nothing
A
under the
garbage
table.
can. There was one.
No, each section, so.
You don't see
every
any?
time you press the power button, or the.
There's one in the kitchen for
record
sure.
button,
So,
yeah, so
you wanna
record for
create a new
while,
folder on
and
your
press the button to
desktop,
stop the
Ida, or what,
recording.
or where would you like?
Yeah, I
And
guess
then-
so.
Okay,
So that if.
And that
so if you
stops-
go into
that stops the
Finder,
recording, and that becomes a single
So I
file.
have to memorize something.
do you know,
Patrice and I both want to
Well,
learn.
no.
Oh,
if
you wanna
if
learn
can
this,
Look at
okay.
the screen when
Yeah,
you're
we're
under
both wanting
the
to learn the
magnifier,
same thing.
then you'll just have to listen to each one
Do
and
you-
figure out what it is.
Ah,
Do
that's
we
what I
want
was
to,
supposed now.
Can you hear Don? Yeah, yeah,
can you hear me, or do you want me to switch places with John?
So simple.
okay.
Yeah.
I can switch, isn't mine.
Do you mind switching please?
No, just to set up a folder, maybe.
Oh, you want to learn?
No, just on the desktop, just means right click, select a new folder.
Yeah, but
I
she,
add some visual.
yeah, because Ida
Yeah, I
doesn't
know.
have. So, okay, so if you're
Do you want
on
me
the,
to move on one side here and then,
oh, and Patricia on the other side?
Okay, thank you. That sounds good.
And then I turn it on
Oh,
again.
sorry, we're in.
Oh.
No, don't worry.
Do you want me to sit there, or
Why
where?
don't you sit in the
In
middle?
the middle?
Oh,
Hey, Kim,
Yeah?
why don't you guys sit at the end so that you're in front of the camera?
Oh,
And
okay,
then we
so,
could actually record what you're doing.
What software
okay,
are you
so why
using?
don't we sit on this side? You mean on this side?
Talking to.
So I'll move over to, whoops, Leona's. All right, I'm gonna sit in Leona's chair.
More?
I'm gonna move my stuff. I'll move my stuff.
Oh,
All right, there's no chocolate in my pocket, so you're quite safe.
I'm gonna move all my stuff.
Where are you,
I was just going here. Anita can sit there.
oh, right here?
Yeah, and then you can sit over on this
okay, I
side.
can sit in this room.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, that's good.
All right, sorry. Last minute with my face. So, yeah, so if we go onto the Finder.
Finder, hang on a sec, let me see.
Okay, so where are you?
I don't even know, hang on a minute. I have to-
All right.
Listen to it off?
Can I hear voiceover?
Yeah.
Or did it go off? Maybe.
Bottom, so.
Listen off?
So you're sliding it up or down or?
Is it on?
Which position?
Can you see, is her Mac on, Patricia?
Yeah, well, I can, yeah, I have my Mac.
Oh, no, there you go.
There is a lock position.
There you go. Now now you need to go to Finder.
So I have to go to my desktop.
Yeah, now I'm telling Ida in terms of the keyboard shortcuts, I'm not telling, because I don't know visually how to do it. Okay, so if you if you Command Tab, you'll go through what's open. Yeah, so Command just to the left of the space bar and then
It's the
Tab.
same as your.
It goes through, it's like Alt Tab when you go through different applications that are open.
Oh, okay.
So let's see what you've got open.
Oh. Okay, I'm
So
not using the right
Command,
one then.
so the tab is the fourth,
Okay, it's 1, 2,
3, 4, up on the left in Command. Should switch.
okay. Oh,
Oh, is it, so there's the Control and then there's the capital and the caps lock and then the tab. So if you press Command, which is the one just beside the space bar, and Tab, it's like
Yeah,
Alt Tab on a PC. You go around your functions that are open.
okay, how come?
Is it not? So you're in an email.
Oh,
So
okay,
do
I
it do it again.
Does it say, does it say on the?
accuracy is good now.
Hey, don't worry.
I'll be quiet.
Single start.
Press Control Option Shift.
So try it again.
Computer lines? I got the old
I guess sometimes I use the one at the top, you know, the one you're using,
Oh yeah.
does that,
It's actually on the back.
Reply button.
Oh, that's in your
oh, that's if I'm in
that's in your
email.
email.
So I
Yeah.
should shut off email, shouldn't I?
You can leave it open, or if you want to quit, you can press Command Q to quit mail.
Messages. Window. Finder. Desktop.
There you go. Now you're in Finder in a desktop. So you're on your desktop.
Right.
So what I usually do is I go into the file, into the menu. I think it's Command Shift N for a new folder, but sometimes I forget. So I go into the Shift,
Shift N.
I think.
If you are recording.
Yeah, so now you are,
Yeah.
but now you have to
Name it, right?
name it, yeah.
Okay, so.
But you might want to just press your backspace just to make sure it deletes the word folder, because sometimes
Oh, yes, that's true. Selection.
there you go. So
Okay.
that's deleted. So now you can type, you know,
Oh, whatever I want to name
whatever.
it.
And then when you press enter on it, it should be there on your desktop. Should be
Okay.
there. So say you wanted a folder for.
Or, let me
So
see.
I'm telling her the keyboard shortcut.
Yeah.
I know there's a visual way to do it,
Yeah.
but if you're on your desktop and you press Command, which is the key just beside your space, with Shift and N for new, you'll create a new folder. But I know there's a visual way to do it, which I don't know
That
what
won't
it
make any difference to me,
is.
okay.
No, so did you made one?
Yeah,
So then
but, so then it just sits on my desktop.
it sits there, but then if you create a file and you save it, it'll ask you where you want to save it.
And then it goes automatically in there.
Well, you have to select, that's where you want to save it, so it'll put it in
Okay.
there.
All right, well, I'm gonna try to do that.
So a
I'm
new
going-
file is Command N,
No.
oh wait, well, like
No, I
you'd
have
be
to go
in, yeah,
into,
you'd
let's
be
say
in,
I
sorry,
wanna
you're
go
in
in a
Pages or
program, right?
Text Editor.
Yeah, I'm
or-
gonna go into Pages and just try that, and then I'll just, I don't know, start something and then put it in there? Will
Yeah,
that work?
put it in there.
You've got that back up front.
Finder,
Okay, shortcut.
Okay, so you're on your desktop and you want a new folder.
That's right.
So Command, which is
Yeah.
just to the side of the space, and Shift and N for new folder.
Okay, command, and what else? Like,
Shift key, like the capitals,
okay.
and N.
Trash.
No, no, I understand that.
Trash. System preferences. App Store. 4 iBooks. 13 iTunes. 12 FaceTime. 11 messages. 10 maps.
You know when you're in your dock, if you press the first letter of what you want, it'll
They
take.
should be able to do it.
It should be.
Yeah, cause see, I don't seem to have,
Item. To open this
Oh, is it not in
application,
your
press
dock?
Control, Option, Space.
I think it's gone, ever since we had it cleaned out, it seems like
We
Pages
can move,
and-
okay, we can move them back in.
Oh, yes, I know you can, I
So
just
if
don't
you
remember how.
go into, do you want me to move some in for you, or do you wanna do it? So if you go into Applications,
Which was,
so Command Shift A, Command Shift D is Desktop, but Command Shift A is Applications.
okay, let me see, oh, where are we, little dots here, God. I
It's a bit tricky, sometimes. Sometimes I use,
14 of 18.
That's true. Yeah.
so,
Portability.
didn't go into my
It
You are
opens
currently on
a
application
window.
dot item. To open this application, press Control, Option, Space.
so maybe go,
App Finder, Desktop, App Store, Window,
try,
Back, Dimmed button.
oh, it went to App Store, did it? So press Command Shift A now and see what happens.
You are currently on a button inside of a toolbar. This item is dimmed. To navigate items on this toolbar, press Control, Option, and then up arrow, down arrow, left arrow, right arrow.
So what I usually do is I usually press the command, when I'm doing A or D, like
Yeah.
I'll press Command here and
Oh,
Shift,
on the other side.
just because I have to get my,
A, yeah, like I'm trying to find the A.
Is
and
it
moving over
working?
there.
it's not working. Why is it not working, everybody? Come on.
I've got these little tactile things on to tell me where the command key is.
Oh, I pressed the wrong, I think I pressed the wrong thing. Where's the Shift on this side? Oh, I don't know if there is one, is there? Maybe not. Maybe you don't have a Shift there.
Maybe.
Command Shift, it's a bit tricky.
The shift is right above my, I've got this
Yeah,
tactile
your
button
caps
on my
lock.
command.
Yeah, Command Shift.
Applications.
Oh yeah, you had to do it on the left side.
I know, which makes it tricky for the A.
Yeah,
Rows, 4 columns.
there might be a way of doing a shortcut, so I'll have to look that up for you. But if you go to Pages,
Okay.
And your
So then in
press
the
P, you
application,
can,
oh,
you're
I
in the,
can go
you
right
can just
into
press
P?
P.
Oh, okay, and just P by itself, not command?
Well, just press P and see where it takes you.
Application 23 of 32.
Is it Pages or is it something else?
Image browser, grid, 1 item selected. Photo booth application.
Photo
23 of
Okay,
32.
go,
8 rows. Applications.
why is it Pages so?
Image browser. Image browser, grid, 1 item
Oh,
selected.
let's do a list view. I think we should do a list view. Let's set it up
Image
so.
browser,
Yeah, I
isn't it?
hate
Yeah.
those image browsers.
It'd be okay if you could do that.
Whoops, I did a display brightness. What is, oh, I want to switch these. What do I do?
Utilities folder, 32 of 32.
What did I do? I messed up your thing.
Photo booth application.
But where's
23 of
Pages
32.
then?
Image browser applications. Image browser grid 1 item selected. Interact with image browser grid 1 item selected. As icons check. As list check.
As list, okay. I got a
Photo
list
booth
view.
application. List view table name. List view table. Interact with preview application. Photo booth notes application. Mission
But where's Pages?
application. Maps application. Mail application.
That's
Launchpad
weird.
application. 0 iTunes application.
Oh,
iWork.
iWork.
09 folder collapsed.
No.
Launchpad application. Mail application.
But
Maps application.
Pages should
Messages
be
application.
there.
Mission control
Maybe
application.
you'd have
Notes
to
application.
download it
Photo
again.
booth
Oh, we
application.
had
Preview
it,
application.
it was there
QuickTime
before.
Player application. Reminders application. Safari application. Stickies application. System preference. Text edit application. Time machine application.
You can use
Utilities
text edit, but
Utilities folder.
maybe I wonder if it's in there.
February 28. February 28. September
It's
9,
downloaded
name,
fast.
time machine application, utilities.
I wonder if it would be in utilities. That's weird because it should be there.
I know, in fact, at first I couldn't find it, then I took it back to the store and I said,
Name,
how come it's not here? And he, I think, must have gone into applications, got them back on, and then they
list view,
disappeared
table,
again.
activity monitor
I
application.
wonder if it's in
Airport
here
utility,
though. I
VO
opened
Bluetooth file machine
utilities.
cap, boot campus system, color save utility, console app,
Yeah,
digital
that's
color,
one
disk
thing
utility
I
app,
don't
graph
know.
application, grapher application, keychain apps, migration is, script editor, system information, terminal app, voice over utility, apps
No.
one application, apps one
I don't
application,
know where they
apps
are.
one application,
I wonder. I
voice
don't
over
know
terminal
what.
system, script mic, key,
That
graph,
is
disk,
weird.
color,
Oh, would it be an
audio airport
iWork?
active, name,
Would they have put it in
name,
iWork?
Could be,
activity
because
monitor
iWorks
application,
is the whole thing.
Okay, so maybe it's in its own folder now.
Maybe.
Sometimes they do these
Oh.
weird things. Let's see.
Yeah, that's probably what it is.
iBooks application,
iBooks.
September, name,
iWorks.
list
iBooks.
view, table, iBooks application, interact with, image capture application, iTunes application, iWork, 0.
iWork. Okay, let's open it. Let's open that and see if it's there.
Open, list view, table, name, list view, table, interact with, keynote application.
There they are.
Oh
Keynote.
gosh, it put it.
Keynote application, numbers application, pages application.
So let's open Pages and then we'll put it in your doc for you.
Okay, and
So
the
you
same,
don't-
that's what I put.
You want numbers
Keymers
and
numbers
stuff
in
in
there
there?
too, even though how
Okay,
much do I
Currently on a
use
sell
those,
two
but.
items, inside of a table.
Come on,
To
why
navigate
didn't?
the cell. Pages application, numbers application, pages application.
Come on, we gotta open it.
Play voice memo.
You are currently on sell two items, inside of a table. To navigate the cell through the
Why
table.
isn't it opening?
Pages application, pages, open.
Oh, there it is.
Image browser, empty. Image browser, empty.
I hate image browser.
One row, three columns. Display brightness.
Oh, why does it
92%.
do this? Okay, I hate this image browser.
Cancel, button, image browser. Interact with image browser, empty.
Let's do this.
No selection. One row, three columns. Content is empty. Name. List view, table. Interact with.
Okay, so you're in Pages, so let's go to your doc. So we just do VOD for doc. And now it should, there it is, but now we have to add it. Now I'm trying to remember how.
Pages open, 16. Pages open, 16.
I think maybe I do. I'm sorry I'm doing it, but I can't remember what it is I.
Menu, 5 items. Check mark, open. Options, submenu. Options, open at login. Keep in doc.
Keep in doc. This is what we want.
Pages, open.
So
Window.
Pages is in your, now it should be. Now if you want to go into Pages and try creating a file, I'm just going to see if Paul or those guys need anything. Sure.
Items inside of a table. To navigate the cells within a table.
I'm sorry you guys,
Up arrow, down arrow, left arrow,
Well,
or right arrow.
it's funny, remember I was mentioning
Name, date modified, size,
I
copy.
for
Name,
book
name,
share
date
in
modified.
US,
Name,
and then I went asking
name, date modified. Name, date modified, size, time, column 1
get a
collapse
hold of
level.
somebody, they sent me
I can't do any of that stuff, I just have to.
Finder, iWork 09, window, numbers application, close window, now with desktop, Nocturne 2012. Nocturne 2012.
Sure, I sent it to Seal.
Nocturne,
But
Nocturne
then I
20,
got a call from,
Nocturne 20, copy folder,
no, I'm sure I sent it to Bookshare.
done.
And then I got a call from Seal.
Launchpad 2 of 19, Safari 3 of 19, mail, full contacts,
How do I now
documents,
contact
reminders,
Bookshare?
maps, 9 messages, 10 of 19, FaceTime, iTunes, iBooks,
So that's
App
what I
Store,
have to
System
find
Page,
out, is
7 pages, 16 of 19, Finder, desktop,
I talked to you.
template chooser, window,
You're
template
done,
chooser,
you done?
grid 1 unselected, blank image, 1 of 100, 61 rows, 3 columns,
Yeah, see you,
So,
on Raspberry.
you got a letter,
Raspberry, yeah.
you're supposed to give this one to you.
I think I did, but I forgot.
Oh, you got a Asian pattern. I don't know whether you were a lot of volunteers for something, it's like I.
And then I'll just email Janice and say, well, your letter won't print out here.
Pass that around, if anybody wants to.
save changes made to the document,
But maybe if you could just forward them that attachment, is that a letter that's supposed to let you
some
Yes,
people can't see
yes.
a thing. They have a coach there.
Yes.
You get up onto the, you have to make a step up on the, where you sit, you know, on the scoreboard. And for those who can't see, they'll help them up
Oh,
and
sure,
then the coach will
that'll work.
hand you the ball. And some people bring their own balls for the trade.
Tags. Tag editor.
Yep.
Tab 1.
It's only $8.
Content selected. Save.
$5 at the RA
Tag
Center
editor. Edit
in the
tags.
afternoons,
How's it going,
Documents.
ladies?
Where?
1 till 3:30, and then the
Well,
$3 goes
You know,
trophies and
I
stuff, so it's a
I
big,
didn't get the
lots
pay.
of them, they did
How are
at
you
the
doing,
end of the
Nita?
year.
Display a list of options. Press
The
control
tickets are
options.
free
I'm
because
at
you pay
the-
that extra
Did you
$3.
make a
Save
little
to.
file? Okay,
Yeah.
save to. And so it's gonna ask you for a file name, right?
Yeah, so that I just type that in?
Yeah, so you interact with it, maybe, you might have to
Okay.
interact with the edit text. And
It's not
then
saying it.
Cancel button.
Oh,
keep going, so shift tab back through the, or VO, I always forget if it's VO left.
Default button.
So
Yeah, it
keep
just
going
says-
to the left.
Title. Content selected.
So that's what you want, so save as,
And the ball, yeah.
so interact with it.
okay, but it didn't say that.
Currently on text field.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, there we are.
Yeah, so
Okay.
type
You've got better
something.
hearing than I do.
And then,
O C T U R N E space 2012 2312.
and so then you go out of that text.
I think I screwed that up here.
Four lanes of bicycles.
Oh, gosh.
So stop interacting with the text,
Space 20.
or whatever you wanna go with.
Okay.
Yeah, okay, so stop interacting with it, and then VO right arrow,
VO right arrow.
Disclosure unchecked. Checkbox.
so keep going.
Tags.
So that's if you wanted to tag it, I never do that,
Tag
keep
editor.
going.
Edit text. Where?
Where?
Oh.
And then there's a pop-up, so one more,
Documents.
Oh, okay.
and then if you VO space on that, you can change where you wanna save it.
Oh, VO space bar?
Yeah, for the pop-up.
Menu 7 of the check mark.
Oh,
Documents.
okay.
So, and then if you go down, just down arrow, and you'll find other places where you can save.
Way down there.
iCloud Drive.
Very
Applications. Desktop.
Desktop.
Okay,
So
and
if you
then,
want a desktop,
then
you
space bar
could,
again?
I'm trying to think if you,
To choose this menu item, press control option space.
yeah, I think you choose that, and then I'm trying to remember how you then get into the
Closing menu. Desktop.
desktop, but there must, try VO right arrow again, try it again and see. Maybe you have to save it there and then move it into the folder, I'm not,
Yeah.
I should ask Leona if she knows. I usually just save them on my desktop and then I'll go and move a bunch of things into the folder at this.
Oh,
But I
okay.
think there could be a way, of doing it.
Right away where it goes into the folder, right?
Yeah, like what I usually do then is I move a bunch of stuff around and I put it in a folder, like if you
Okay.
select them and then you can either move them or copy them or whatever. But there might be a way of
Yeah, like,
choosing.
you know, before where you could see, you could just drag and drop in there, but I can't drag and drop.
Well, there's a sort of equivalent, if you press,
Oh, perfect.
are you in?
You
Paul?
can, you can actually set it up so that it,
Okay, so if you
That's
press the
fine.
3 keys, like to the left of your, like when you're
yeah.
Yeah,
when you're in your, say if you're in your desktop,
right.
you can select files if you press to the left of the space bar, the VO keys and the command and the VO, and
Okay.
space to select,
Okay.
and then you go down with VO down arrow, and then the next one you want, you press space to select, and then you can press command copy and go to the folder and then move them in there or paste them.
Oh, okay.
That's how I do it, but
Okay.
there might be, let me just
Well, that's
ask
okay, but,
Leona. No, but I'm curious.
That's true.
Okay.
Leona,
Yeah.
Ina created a file, she created a folder, and then she created a file in here. And you know when you
My
say
father
save
died at
to,
63.
you can go to desktop or
To display a list of options,
document.
press control
Yeah.
But
option
can
space.
you actually then specify when you're in that drop down a list of folders? Cause I haven't, I usually just save it to my desktop and then I move them around using my,
You can go into the specific folder you
so
want.
how do you do that? Cause when you're on that menu, the VO, the desktop, do you press right
When you're
arrow?
saving it, you mean?
Yeah,
We were just trying
You wanna
to,
save it beyond your desktop, but on a
Just like a
specific
skip up
folder
there.
in your desktop.
You go into that folder and then it'll save
Yeah.
into that folder.
But
it was how do we get there?
Cancel button.
She's on a Mac.
Okay,
Desktop.
no, but this is what I always just do it to my desktop and then I move them around.
no, I understand the way you do it,
But I
I
don't.
thought within the app that you should be able to
for a
select the
But I'm
folder.
just not sure, so maybe a right arrow with right arrow?
Interact with the title. Desktop.
Kim, do you know how I can
Desktop.
update
I-
my
mine
calendar?
is set up way different
It
than this,
appears-
actually.
It appears
Desktop.
like
Where?
another day.
Tags. Tags.
How you can update it, it appears like it's
I
listed
did that.
as another day, not today.
How did you get here?
Drive.
Did you get
Applications. Desktop.
Ah.
Documents. Downloads. Documents. Desktop.
Oh, the rush hour.
Oh yeah, yours, mine is set up way different. I have like, mine is set up so that it's more like the Windows Explorer.
Okay,
So you know how in Windows Explorer it's not
oh, see, mine is like that, I don't know how, I don't know what I need to change on mine to be like that. But maybe if you press right arrow when you're in the drop down list.
No, I've done that and it doesn't.
Mine is like hers, I'm not sure quite what,
That's what my boyfriend says too. Like he goes on my computer and he's like, everything's set up so differently.
yeah, like
And
I'm
he
not.
can't figure out how to do
but
it. And I go on his computer and I'm like, I don't know how to do anything.
Well, I don't know what mine, maybe there's a, I don't know what settings it would be under.
Probably I use it when I'm crossing the road now.
Big sucker, you can hit something over the head.
I'm just gonna ask Arthur.
For the ID card.
Document.
Well, I
Did
moved
you
on
get
to this
some
about
help
9
on
months
this?
ago.
Ah,
Check. Disclosure
Guess
check
what?
box.
A little bit of help?
a little bit, we solved every problem I had.
Oh, good.
He just picks up the manual and says, page 5, page 6.
So are you gonna be able to use it,
Sidebar.
okay?
Table.
Yeah.
Interact with.
Oh,
Sidebar.
so you'll have to teach me how to use it then.
What we, it's a nice one.
Nocturne
Did
012 folder.
you say you had the manual?
Well, I found a PDF version on.
What's the
on-
folder
yeah,
you
yeah,
just made?
but I
Nocturne
wasn't
to
sure.
one,
Well,
yeah,
what
2012,
basically
Nocturne
happened
2012 folder.
for me,
Yeah.
See if I,
tell me what pages it.
Okay.
Oh,
I changed it.
okay.
Yeah,
there you go.
most manuals do.
So,
Well, and my wife
So
usually,
now when you go to save,
yeah,
And often
It
there's
says
small,
save as.
small.
I've changed it
Small.
a little bit. So open up
so
save,
he's picked the pages.
open up save.
or like pretend you're gonna save.
Yeah.
And then
Oh,
on
your
the
glasses
right
are really
hand is
cool.
all-
They've got,
you wanna
like-
see it? No, you can't see it. You wanna
I
feel
don't know
it?
what it is. Bubbles or
Well, not
something?
here.
I don't know,
Okay.
I think,
I'll get it
orange?
up, but you wanna stay right there?
I
I'll
have
get it
trouble
up.
thinking orange.
yeah,
It
I
kind
have
of-
no
The
idea.
thing is, if you get
Somebody
used
told
to
me
the
there's
whole
little flowers
raft
or
of
something,
buttons,
I
but
don't
you
know what
gotta
it
They
get
look
is.
like
used to it.
bubbles to me,
Well,
but they might be
Rebecca,
flowers.
the young lady,
I don't
she
know.
told
Who
me it's
knows?
pretty
I
easy,
can't see them.
but it's mainly the one big button that you use in the middle there.
Just me, I find it hard to
Yeah,
Well, maybe
it's
she
hard.
has a different one.
It's hard to hear with
Well,
everything
no,
going on.
I wouldn't say that. It's mainly,
So the
yeah,
Command
well,
S to
okay.
save.
Oh,
Yeah, but you
F.
wanna do other
S.
things, you wanna
Oh,
delete
yeah,
and
yeah,
whatnot.
save.
Oh, that, yeah, but she meant for recording.
Yeah, but
Okay,
what-
now
what
if you
he taught me
tab-
was-
Okay, no, but do what he taught you.
Just tab with the button, these,
You can
left,
either,
right?
you can use, I think you can just push tab.
Yeah, because
Like the actual
agent
tab
said
key,
there
which
was
is
no
the fourth
kind of-
key up on the
it's not
left.
called a pause. If I wanna record.
Nope,
I'll-
you hit
oh,
enter.
you're waiting for it, are you?
Oh, no,
Not tab.
it's
Well, we
fine.
do both at the same time, I'll bring it out there.
Oh, okay.
I'm just curious.
So I don't know where you saved it. So let's
This
try
is,
again.
You can get more expensive
It's hard with
models
all
than
the
this, but
talking.
this is on.
So you're back in your main document,
Now,
so
did
you need
they
to tell
say
it to
you could
save
bring it
again.
back to Steve if
Okay.
it didn't work for you?
Well, it's gonna work because it,
No, it is.
once somebody tells you how to work, it's gonna work.
Okay.
No.
Oh, because you've
So it's
saved it
this one,
once
isn't it?
now?
Oh, I know.
It's just doing that
Okay.
save, so you have to do save as.
Okay.
What is the command for save as?
Oh, it's tab, oh.
Yeah.
No, so because
Oh,
you
okay.
saved it
Yeah.
once, now when you do Control S, it does that quick save for you where it doesn't bring you into the menu.
Oh, okay, so no menu now, so now we have
Just
to,
save
okay.
saves it as before.
I'll make a drawing for
I
myself.
wonder,
That's what I do, a great big drawing.
What is save
like
as?
this,
There's
that
gotta be a
this
command for
button
that.
is for this,
Yeah,
this
save as is in the file menu, I think.
There's no
button.
quick command though?
This is gonna work, this is the H1.
No, I'm
it just makes it
There's
easy
a
for
light
me.
Yeah.
comes on here and there's a flash of light comes on. I can see the little flash.
Yeah.
10
So
to
do you
12,
think it's
yeah.
gonna, did you try practicing the
Oh,
recording?
look, we just had a save.
Ellipsis
Yeah, but you shut it
command
off or
This
you're gonna hurt
staging
it.
in is
No, no,
fine.
but it
Shift
was.
S.
You took your voice out there, didn't you?
Why, to save gives you a
Press
lot
Control
of
Option.
You
Start
deleted
zooming to
it.
close this
Yeah,
menu.
so Arthur, you
I never knew what
that's
button
great.
ellipsis is.
Oh, yeah, I
I have no clue what it is, and it comes up so
I thought
often.
maybe you could hear his voice.
If you get an ellipsis, it means there's more to that
Yeah.
menu item, I think.
Okay.
So you
Anyway.
could right arrow or you
Interact
could
with
right
Save
arrow.
Dialog. Untitled.
Maybe
Closing
Marcel
dialog.
will buy dinner or something.
Save
Okay,
as.
Command
Interact with
Shift
Save dialog.
S
Untitled.
is
Content
save
selected.
as.
Save as.
Oh,
Edit text.
Command
Save
Shift.
as.
Oh, okay,
Text.
and the other is just Command
So Kim,
S.
what I've done,
Okay.
when you go to save,
Yeah.
You are currently on the text field. Disclosure. Checkbox.
I just hit tab,
Yeah.
and
That's
it's
what I-
called disclosure.
Oh, I didn't know what disclosure
Yeah, if you
was.
open up disclosure, it makes the saving more like Windows Explorer.
I
So
always
now-
went past disclosure because I had no idea what disclosure.
Yeah, so now every time I push tab,
Explorer said it
Range.
depends on the
Documents.
severity
Search
though,
text
too,
field.
right?
Sidebar. Table.
Oh, awesome.
I get into the
Oh,
sidebar.
you know what I've been doing is I've been saving stuff all on my desktop and then doing the
So
command.
now I'm in the sidebar just by pushing tab, Ida,
Yeah.
and now I can use the up arrow.
And then find the document, like the.
So I found desktop now.
Okay.
I push tab again.
Okay.
Folder. Collapse.
I'm using the down arrow, and it's reading me through the folder list.
Oh, okay, and then you press the folder.
That's what disclosure, I didn't
Yeah.
know what disclosure, was. I just put all the skim through, who needs that disclosure, I don't know.
You are currently
So
on
now we know.
selfie items.
So once it's open once, will it show up like that the next time?
Yes.
Option and then up arrow.
I gotta
Once
do
you
that
turn on disclosure, it's always on.
Oh, great,
Oh, look at that, so now we know, look how,
okay.
I
So
learned every
then,
day, I learned.
when you then find the file or the document.
I'm gonna let you do it now.
Because now I know what offer I need to
Okay.
search.
Remember, because we've saved it once, you have to do the Command Shift S.
Yeah,
Okay.
Equivalent to,
oh, that's
you know, I
great.
was explaining to Kim.
I was getting something, why are people's computers so different?
Well, and I thought, it's me, I'm down too, and I was like, I just skim through stuff I don't understand, well, who needs
Prior
that?
to getting
Instead of,
information from.
what is disclosure
Okay.
anyway?
But then I remember
Good.
getting
Now push
Is it
tab.
properly
Okay,
email
labeled
from,
word?
Kim.
a lady from CNIB.
Too hard to hear.
saying
Okay, so now
to
start
send
pushing your
that to
tab key.
Bookshare.
Well, what am I using? Why am I always hitting the wrong?
Tab, your tab has a bump on it. Good. And just keep going until you hear sidebar.
Editor.
And
Edit
she
text
said,
column
well,
view.
just go to the
Selected
bookshare.org, and I went in there, and then it said sign in, so I figured, okay.
There, right? I
I'm
think
gonna
you can
sign
do it there
in
too,
by
but I keep
email.
going. I go to the sidebar. I
And
find it
use our
easier.
normal password,
Sidebar.
which
Table.
I've been
Row
using
5.
for
Good.
a long
Now
time.
you can use your up and down arrow.
Lo and behold, I'm in
Tags.
Bookshare.
Expanded. Red.
Now I'm,
Level
now
2.
I'm
You probably wanna
watching
go up from
flowers,
here.
So I can
Tags.
go look for some
Downloads.
books about
Level
it,
2.
so perfect.
So that would be your downloads folder, your documents folder.
Desktop.
Okay.
Desktop.
Okay, so do I have to hit,
You hit tab now.
oh,
The
tab.
focus is on desktop
Well,
and
I had a 4-part
Okay, well,
To navigate the cells within
Oh,
tabs,
that's-
press
say hello to
Control
Julie and
That's
Sophie.
and just keep pushing tab.
Everybody does.
Leaving table. List one item selected.
Good.
Jazz
Space.
number.
Folder. Group. 1 of 3.
So you're now on your list of folders.
So I use these
Yeah.
arrow keys again?
So you
Yeah.
interact with that, or do you just,
No, you don't have to use tab.
or you just use tab when you're on the folder group?
At my age, I
So
got
I
used
found
to
it,
more
and
of
then I
that
just-
stuff.
And if you wanted to go into this, if you had subfolders within that, you would push the right arrow to open up the subfolders. If not, you just push enter.
I haven't got used to it, and
Okay,
it depends.
so then if I do this, I'll have it in there twice, so will it, or just override the
It'll
other
just
one?
override.
Okay,
That's awesome, I'm so
There you go.
glad.
oh, good.
So now I'll turn it on my
It's just a
computer.
matter of
Did you
remembering
pay
that.
attention to it?
Yeah, I know, it's all those, but at least I have a general idea.
I still struggle with when do I use tab?
And
When do I use the
VO
voice
right?
over
Yeah,
right?
I have.
Yeah.
When do I need to interact and when do I not?
I do
Yes,
too.
yes, same here.
I find when I use
Yeah, I
tab,
remember.
it overrides the need to interact,
Yes, it does, I
but
think.
only in some.
Yeah, depending on what
think
program
I
you're
think
in.
it
Yeah.
does, but did you find it, Paul?
I was able to
Well, that's
actually
great,
log
thank
in.
you.
I don't remember how to create folders, but Kim showed you how to do that. So
Yes. Oh, now I can remember how to do that, but.
I think I
that was
probably
in
do it a
file.
different way because I do it through the same. I do it through that
Okay.
way that we were just in.
Good job.
Yes.
I think I've gone
She
and
did it
there's a.
differently. I think she went
She's
into
her daughter's in Canada.
file menus.
So she's looking after her.
I go into
Those
the
are the kind
save.
of things you go, okay, now if this was really, we had it all down pat, but record, sort of
Yeah,
go home and
you
kind
can
of.
do that. You should, if you've upgraded your phone, you should be able to say create voice memo.
Oh, okay, see,
And
I
it will
don't
start
know if,
recording.
is that 8.2, because I haven't updated.
I think it's 8
I do,
that allows
Okay,
that.
I have not,
Siri.
8.1.
I've done that already, that's what we're doing the same. Yeah.
download the book right into
He
voice.
has.
Yeah, so I'm actually looking, because I used to enjoy reading James Patterson books.
Along with the
Yeah, so I'm trying to see if
Oh, yeah,
I
you
can get
know,
it in
basically
class.
channels and
Do a
drums.
search,
But the
you
fun
So
can
part
you
is
should be able to just hold down the Siri button and it says record voice memo.
Mhm.
and then you just
Oh, but then where do I find it? Under,
okay when it's put in.
after
You have to go into the voice memo app.
Perfect.
okay, I'm not sure I have that.
And that made that bad.
So what
Ask Siri to open it and you'll find out.
the
Open voice memo.
Can I set that up
That
in
one extra player,
this too?
it sounds so good.
Open voice memo.
Out there, sorry, I look up and there's a whole bunch of
You
bodies
have to
walking
do
by.
it through the web browser in
Okay.
VoiceStream,
I guess,
or you can do it through iTunes if you want.
Oh, download it
Under
into
shared
iTunes.
apps, shared apps,
Okay.
No, it's like,
like
this
in
was
shared
bad
apps.
with
Yeah,
that.
Oh, yeah,
Let me see, I'll see if you have it.
I'm having that one.
When I'm on my computer,
Yeah.
it'll share that,
But you
okay.
can try using
And I got
the
a whole
web
bunch of them on my
browser
hard drive,
feature
and then
of,
put them across onto this.
VoiceStream. So in the
Yeah,
app
wait,
where
wait,
you
I'm
added
sorry.
the bookshare book,
Okay, I'm in settings.
okay.
Yeah, it's in your
settings. So
utilities folder.
what you need to do
Oh,
now.
in the utilities folder,
Go out of
okay.
settings.
Open voice memo.
Home, I'm in
You're in
home.
I can definitely read what's on here, but
Oh, yes, I got that.
turn on,
Then you'll
control
see
plus
various
O.
things. So
but-
say you
Yep,
got
she
one
opened it.
bookshare.
Let's see if she'll
web
record.
browser, bookshare.
Record
So if you want
voice
that bookshare,
memo.
that's how you do it. You
Yeah.
tap that
Right.
And those all seem to
I
be
got
the
it.
normal steps,
But
of
if
course,
you wanna
I
add
don't
a
know exactly what you're doing, so I
CLC
can't say for certain.
level, you go
Web
into
browser.
web
Yeah.
browser
Okay,
and put the address in, and then you'll have to log in.
Voiceover off.
right. So I have to figure
Weird, it
out
opened
the
to
skill
Siri.
library.
Okay.
Yeah, I can
So,
send you an email with
does it
some
hurt if I
instructions.
have
if I
that
can
Start
have the
recording
recording
voice
using
memo.
Daisy Zip.
Perfect.
I
No,
can send
usually
you a
that won't
note
hurt at
about
all.
that,
Okay.
but that's how you would, that's the easiest
And
way.
then I'll have to
I
fix
find
it
it,
when
and
I
I don't know why, but I find that once in a while it
Oh,
doesn't
it's open
work.
voice stream reader
And
again.
I don't know. Leona,
You can use it to anyway, and then you just hit record.
Messages. No,
It's on. It's in utilities.
Okay.
okay.
Utilities. Voice
Voice
memos.
And sometimes it just says it doesn't, but it's like zero.
Because I've also thought, well, if you lose your phone somewhere and you've got notes and messages, you don't want to be leaving like your
But it is a
MasterCard
way of
number and all
doing
these
it
kind of
that
things
works
in there.
reasonably well, but for
But if
bookshare
it's
it
in
works all the
utilities,
time.
people aren't as
No
likely to
issue with that.
realize it's under voice
The
messaging, right?
directive player app.
That's
well, I can
correct.
send you a note.
And also, if you have your
That would
phone
be
locked,
perfect, 'cause I have
to
direct
use a
player, I
lock,
got
it's
it
less
too.
likely.
Yeah, I tend not to do that,
It's
which
easier
is
in
probably
terms of-
should.
Yeah, if you're the 4, it's nice. I have the 5, so it does the fingerprint,
Mm-hmm.
so I don't have to worry about trying
But that
to
you
punch
have
in
to
and
No,
find either
exactly.
thing every time, which is a bit of a pain.
Yeah.
select them and put
And
them
that's
there.
why I thought, okay, I'll just wait until the next.
So right now I have it in the voice memo app.
Which
So if you just do a right flick until you get to record,
Yeah, I have direct
Okay.
player, so I just have to, if you send
Wrong
me the
direction.
instructions
I'll
on how to
send
do
you a
that,
note
that
on
would
how
be
to
great.
do that and how to do voice stream.
Wonderful.
And then you can try each
So
one
when it
and
says
kind
speak
of
over,
Perfect.
does that
decide
mean?
That would be
what
very
you would
helpful.
like. But I'm glad you got into bookshare.
Yeah, so am I, cause like I said, I have all these things, but I've never known how to use them. what
just
to
ignore it,
do
just
with
go into
But
them.
if you ever wanna drop in and play with it on
Yeah.
So then how do
Yeah,
I turn it
yeah,
on?
well, no, I mean, I'll
so you'd
come
have
in
to double
another
tap to
meeting.
actually
Yeah, but I mean,
to
if you
start
want
recording.
one-on-one, like
Okay.
just to try it a few times or anything.
So now
Sure, sure.
it's recording, but you'll stop it at the same time.
Yeah,
Okay.
well, I mean,
So then when I
my
want to
background's sort
hear
of
it,
technology to begin with.
how would I?
It's just, I'm new,
Yeah.
completely
I think
blind
it's
in
coming in
one
the
eye.
window.
Oh,
I have
something
television
lit up
in
a
the other eye, but I also have floaters
okay,
So
yeah, so
the
let's say I
floaters
entered my MasterCard.
interfere with.
How would I then get it
But
back?
I have the
So
apps
within
and
the
I'm
app,
working with, but I'm
when you're doing
starting-
that right flick and you'll hear record, once you go beyond that, you'll hear like list.
For example,
Oh.
And then it gives you a
I'm
list
in
of everything
Siri.
you've recorded.
Yeah.
And I'm in
Okay.
apps and in,
And you can give them each specific names. So even you can
typing
give it,
or wanting
instead of
to
saying credit
set
card,
typing an
you can give it a
email.
code
I
name.
should be able to
Okay.
open Siri.
All right,
stop with one
because same
sentence,
with my,
and you have to.
I know, I hate Siri.
oh, all
Yeah.
right, that's great, that's,
Bumped into each
Because
other.
I
what I was
use the
looking for.
dictate once.
I didn't know that was voice
Okay,
recording.
so you're recording.
So I go into.
So right now, because you started a recording and stopped a recording,
Yeah, then
there's a message on the screen asking what do you want to call it.
I just,
Oh,
But and I think you can go to cancel or delete.
stop and take a breath.
So just do your right
Yes,
flick across.
yes, I hate
But
it.
with dictate,
Make sure you're on the top
it
though.
lets you talk, I mean, I'm sure eventually it stops, but it lets you talk pretty much
So you
as
need to
long as you
refocus.
But then you just continue on with the next
Yeah.
sentence.
Because
by
you
reading it
lost your
again.
You
focus,
hit
so
it
just
again
touch
and
the
it
screen
just
once
keeps going. Are you
Yeah, you
off?
to
take care.
refocus it.
Did you learn
Good.
something?
Now do your right flick.
Oh, good. Well, let me know. Okay.
Take care. Also,
So one thing I've noticed, Dita, is when you pick up your phone, you kind of pick it up, bring it to your ear, and just sort of drag your finger randomly.
okay.
I've got it written down so I
Good.
know what to do now.
So how do you set up the
Please to have
calendar?
met you there.
Same to you, thank you.
Well, I tend
So
to
what's
go
happening
with
when
the
you're
fields
doing
and
that
Yeah.
find
is
out.
you
Like I go
are
into the calendar
taking the
app and
focus
say
of
add.
voiceover
Now,
and
if
kind of
it's a
dragging
simple
it away
thing,
on the
like
screen.
If I can say it in the paragraph,
You
Okay.
always
Siri,
really
then
want
you
your
say-
first touch of the
Okay.
screen to be a right flick
Oh,
to get it to start reading to you where you are. Because if you just reach over and just kind of touch the screen,
So for
you're just kind of
example, I'm in
sticking the
calendar
focus
itself.
Anywhere and
anywhere, and
everywhere.
usually ends up at the
Yeah,
bottom
so
of
you
the
hit
screen,
add button.
Okay,
which isn't helpful.
No, I noticed that sometimes I was, in fact, for Patrice, I was trying
Title
to show
and
her,
location.
okay, yeah, this is how you get a recipe, and we got
And hit
into
the
everything.
microphone.
Did you get it working? Sort it out?
Perfect.
Went over and the boss over the other
Yeah.
side there solved all the problems.
Excellent.
Better
You could
than
read the
for
manual.
me for-
Yeah.
We couldn't, the manual is all messed up.
Mm.
So he says, okay.
They can't speak technical sometimes.
Right.
Well, I just was able to write down, he says, this is how we wrote the battery. Days such and such allotment, about 23 other things you don't care about. Like the first thing they tell you to do is to connect it to your computer. Well, come on, I want to know how to make it work before I connect it to my computer.
Yeah.
So he started that
No,
out.
that's good, that's perfect.
This guy's good. I brought the iPod down and he switched the iPod on.
Excellent.
Yeah, boy, what a place.
I know in here
Even my
there's
great
some,
granddaughter couldn't figure out some of the stuff that he.
Can we get
Uh-huh.
access?
Good.
Genius, and he's got
Do
memory
you know
like,
his
wow.
password? So I'm
This is
gonna
his
put it down here
expertise,
next time.
area of expertise. So really, I should just put my finger,
I'm glad you got something out of it.
That will focus it where your finger is, but the best thing to do is the first touch of your phone should be a right
Yeah, I
flick.
probably could have looked at it too,
always.
because I used to
Yeah.
work in these years.
Because then you're guaranteed that, usually when you turn your phone on, the focus is at the top, right? So if you just do that right flick right away, you're guaranteed that the next thing it reads is gonna be the next thing near the top of the screen.
okay.
Whereas if you just take your phone and you touch it, if you're touched near the bottom, you're automatically taking the focus of voiceover and sticking it at the bottom of the screen. And then you can't find what you're
all over
looking
the
for.
place.
Exactly.
Oh, okay. And I sit there and I get frustrated and go, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then anytime it really isn't focusing for you like that, just stopping for a second and just touching near the top of the screen once will refocus voiceover near the top.
Okay, and doesn't matter right or left or whatever.
Center's always better, but it doesn't really matter. You know, that way you're focusing at the top right, instead of starting at the bottom.
Okay. So I basically just go into utilities and turn voiceover on and ask for voice recorder.
You don't have to go into utilities
Okay.
first. You can just say open voice memo.
Voice memo, sure.
Otherwise, it'll get you voice stream reader.
Yeah, voice memo. Okay.
Or you can go into utilities and then find voice memos.
Okay.
Whichever works best.
Okay. Oh, that's good.
Some lights that you gotta learn.
What time is it?
And I wanna hear your choir sometime. What choir is it you're in? Well, what choir? Tell me your choir.
It's a church choir, right?
No, it's nice.
Did you take para here today or taxi?
Taxi, because it was kind of a last minute thing.
They actually
Do you
had
have,
the,
are you using the taxi chip
Bradford
program?
barbershop for quite a while ago.
Where do you get those?
I wasn't there for it.
Paratransport.
Did you call paratransport?
No, I'm sure there's a separate number.
Okay.
Again, this week I need to get my phone back.
Because I just got paratransport because I'm working with a support key now, so there's certain things I can't.
Yeah.
Like it's just too
I
hard.
love that
But of course, they send all of the information in print.
That's right.
Yes, my daughter filled it all out for me, because really, how am I supposed to fill it out?
This is true.
So I had to get help filling out the form, but then once I got it, now all of the information is in print, and I'm like, I know there's a taxi chip program, but
Yes,
I don't know how to get it
Get there.
because you've given me print pamphlets about it.
yes, exactly.
It's not helpful.
Now, how did we get that to start
You
with.
were a tough man.
It is part of the
Tough
paratransport.
director.
Well, you have to.
And I'm wondering,
Subsidized by the city, isn't it?
Yeah.
Instead of para, so you don't call para and ask for it, you
No.
call, but I don't.
OC Transpo, I think you call. I wonder if there's a number, I have a chit, so I wonder if it might be on there, and a telephone number to call.
Yeah.
Because every time I try to call para transpo admin, because I figure, well, they can tell me.
No,
I can never get through.
No, it's impossible, yeah. Oh,
Are you all
that's
set,
too bad.
Teresa?
So frustrating.
Did they ever
I get this thing, but I can't use it.
No. Finally you go, okay, I'm finally allowed to use it now, and now I can't get
Yeah,
through.
it's gonna be
Yeah.
Very
not
hard
for,
to find.
like, not next week, but the
Yeah.
week
Well,
after.
especially you can't call until after 9, and that's when I'm working already.
Exactly.
I can't sit on hold for an hour.
No,
There isn't even hold, like it doesn't even answer.
no,
Okay.
it's tough.
See you.
But unless you wanna use it for every day, if you wanna drive it to work or
No,
something,
it's
then
not
that's fine.
You're directing the choir, and then you'll get a smile from
Mr. Trotz,
everybody.
your ride is here?
Yeah,
Yeah, I
and
know.
I'm going to make another
my ride?
appointment.
Your ride is
Yes,
here.
yes, I know exactly what you mean. So nice to see you. Okay. Yeah, we wanted to set up on, back on iCloud again too, because that got off too, of course, when we had to have all the computers cleaned off.
Yeah, I'm in there.
I know, my husband was so
Exactly, I gotta
he wasn't
remember.
with it at all, didn't hear the red flags or whatever. Got sucked into one of these, it's a phone call with Microsoft. Something about
Oh, that's a
protection.
bad scam
I
right now.
know,
And you don't even have Microsoft.
I know, and that's what, when he came down and he
So
told me
every time I come
bought
here,
this
it's set
to the
automatically.
tune of $800 US. I'm going, yo, what? You should have heard me.
Perfect,
I
it
just
went
went,
in, thank you, Kim.
Oh, you're welcome.
and
Now I'm gonna try to get
We
a
don't
James
have-
Patterson
Yeah,
vote.
PC,
go and try
we
and
don't need
see what
Microsoft.
happens.
What did you just do? You know, anyway.
Are you
Oh,
okay
did you
now?
get out of it? Can
Well,
you-
we've called the police, I called the people back
What
and all this, and
happened?
then they said, you have to get your computers completely cleaned off, because really what, because he gave them remote access. Oh,
A friend of mine just did that.
my husband did this, oh. I know.
And she has a Mac, so I
Yes,
said,
we
why
don't-
did you say the PC? They said the PC, and she goes,
Well, they
I
didn't
know."
care.
No, they don't care.
No, they just
And
want,
they got on, and they told her to go log on to online banking. That's when she said, well, no way. But still, they didn't know what they'd gotten off, so you have to really
oh, I know,
much
that's what
put
he
on.
did, oh my
Did you
God.
get out of having to pay the,
We did, because
800?
right away we canceled the
called the
credit cards.
Oh, they
Yeah.
charge you. See, that
Oh,
she
yeah.
didn't get to a place where they charged.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
$800.
goodness.
Yeah, so that got canceled right away. I said, cancel your credit card now, you know, like I'm screaming at him, and it's like,
And of
Right-
course,
right
if
over
he's,
his
if
head.
he's not getting it to the point where he agreed to all of that, then he's
Why did he?
not gonna understand it
No.
after the fact,
Yeah.
right?
oh, I know, I thought,
You know what?
Oh.
The thing with her was she was having computer issues.
oh, okay.
So she said, I feel stupid, but I was having computer issues, and she had told a few, like, one computer store about it. So initially she thought it was them, even though it didn't sound like them. You know, like it was just a
Yeah.
fluky thing that it happened to be.
Yeah, at the right time.
That's right.
Oh.
Well, he actually did call because we were having printer problems. And I said, well, why don't you just look up Canon? And, well, why don't you just call Canon? And I thought he was going to get the manual out and call. Well, instead he Googled Canon, found a website, totally
didn't
legitimate,
know. Oh.
but the phone number on there brought him to this
Oh.
Microsoft. So
Oh no, that's
it's like a fake
sneaky.
website.
I was at Marsha's request house
Yeah.
when they called, and she was wandering over to her computer. I'm like, no, give me that phone. Fortunately, she doesn't do any banking or anything like that on her computer, but
Yeah, but
you know,
it's really
you can
hard.
tell with her when she answers the phone. You can tell that you're speaking to someone with a
Yes.
developmental delay,
Exactly.
You know what?
and what has to be wrong with you as a human being.
My
know, they
great
don't
aunt,
care.
when she had some dementia, like she was still living at home, but she had dementia, and they came from Rogers, like she was with Videotron, she was in Quebec, and they came from Rogers, and they made her sign this contract, but you knew she was confused, you know
That's
what I mean?
right, exactly.
So she didn't even know, she didn't remember she did it, and we were visiting her one day, and my mom said, what's this paper here on your table, coffee table? And looked at it, oh, you're changing to Rogers? And she said, no, I'm not.
Oh.
And we had to call so many people to get it reversed. They weren't gonna reverse it. We said, what kind of person would come in an apartment where she's obviously, like she would say, by that point,
job is,
she'd repeat the same thing every 2 minutes.
Yeah, I've been we were sitting in a client's living room when the water filter people showed up
Yeah,
at the door.
yeah.
All your neighbors have signed up, everyone's getting this
Yes.
filter you need. The city's no longer protecting you against the water. You need to do it yourself and pay for the filter. So we're sitting in the living room and this woman lets the guy take her down into the basement to start looking at his filter, and I'm there to meet with the husband who has severe Alzheimer's. So
Oh
I'm kind
my.
of trying to your wife is in the basement with a strange man, he's trying to sell her something, because we're not really supposed to intervene,
No,
like that's not our
no, but
place,
it's-
but eventually it was like, no,
I-
we went down and told the guy to leave. So I'm like,
Yeah.
I can't, there's only so much I can
Oh, I know.
prompt you to tell him to leave yourself before.
Kim,
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
And then I got the daughter's number and got permission and called her and said, look, this just happened,
Share, how long do you have
please
it for?
know
Oh
what's
my
going
God.
on with your parents.
Exactly.
Is
Yeah,
that-
it's so scary.
Like, it's like a woman in her late 80s with a husband who's got severe Alzheimer's, and it's like,
I know, but they
Okay.
prey on people. It's just another contract.
I guess it's their job. If they don't do it, they don't make money. And how desperate do you have to be to go into that kind of job to begin with?
Yeah.
Like, how much can we really judge
No.
a person? How desperate do they have to be to accept that job?
Oh my God.
I don't know.
Oh, I know, it's so sad.
Or are you really just a heartless person?
I
So
think
it's easy
sometimes
to
they
accept
are.
the job.
I think they are sometimes.
But yeah, you can have them
Yeah.
forever if you want. Like, it
So
doesn't
before, of course, it was also set up in the iCloud, and now it's off, so now I have to go around delete on this one, and this one, and
You know what I mean? They're not like the
That's
other
another
books take up a lot more space.
So I
Those
just
ones don't take up much space because they're text.
My poor wife just sewed one of my pockets on my jacket here.
She sewed it?
Yeah, a while back, and I'm only discovering
sorry, I'm
there's
in
stuff
your
on the inner side of my jacket now, so.
Maybe there's money, there could be money.
No, it's.
The hours are the same, I'm just
oh, are
wondering.
they?
At first, no.
Yeah,
The
well,
state president is.
Like
is
dumb
on
or-
the same chair.
Just wanted to be sure.
Yeah,
So
it is funny.
she's away full time, your wife?
Well, no, she works actually, she's a supposed retired nurse
You
in
have to
a
work
sense.
on-
She's been in the field for
You want
40
to
years.
unfold and just make sure I got the right one?
And,
Sure.
at first she started at St.
Probably
Vincent
about the
de
same
Paul.
length, I could, when I
She
think about
worked
it.
there in the,
But just when I was sitting
head
down. it
injury
seemed-
section.
Oh, yeah, I never thought
And
about
then
it.
after working 18 or so years, then she worked at Briere.
Oh, yeah, that's a great place.
Alzheimer dementia for 20 odd years, and
Yeah,
she
put
loved
the
her
chair
job.
behind you, that's
Yeah.
what it is.
And then in 2012,
Put it on the chair.
Oh, okay, great, thank you
she
very much. Okay.
retired,
Yeah.
and she cared for her mother's. There was 12 people in 7.5 months in 2012 of her.
Oh my God,
I had it on my
Seven-
chair, and then I
seven
popped it on the
and a half
floor,
months.
and just wanted to be sure.
That's the
Yeah.
year I lost the
Okay,
sight in
'cause I
one
did-
eye, the other
sometimes
eye
we
is.
have years like that, right, where
Yeah.
everything that happens goes
Yeah.
wrong.
Does it seem
So
right to you?
now she works at Briere again, because last year they hired her
seems
for
a
a
little
month to look
higher,
after the MDS.
Yeah.
Medium data, something or other, she
Do you
enters
remember how yours
data
was?
2 days a
Wait,
week.
my
Put under
backpack.
your arm, so.
Oh, I don't know.
There's a backpack here, is it a black one?
Yes.
It's a little high.
Thank you.
But I think this one might be mine.
Travel it.
So that's what she does 2 days
This
a
one
week,
feels like
and
mine.
Yeah.
I can
a year ago, or just over December 4th, 2013,
Yeah.
she got out of our hot tub on December 4th, and she slipped on a bit of ice on the stairs, messed up her knee. She's
Yeah,
still
this
waiting
is
for an
mine. The bottom
operation on
doesn't-
that.
No.
She also has a
Yeah.
pinched nerve.
The whole time with the
Oh,
bottom.
no. You should learn to cook.
Yeah, I wanna learn to cook. Well, I'm trying, you know,
Well,
I'm,
the
Yeah,
owner
that's
can
what I
help.
thought.
Are you,
Yeah,
have you?
you're on a little bit
Depends where he
taller.
lives.
It would be a little longer.
I'm getting there,
Yeah,
you
I'm
know.
pretty sure that's it.
Best things in the world, crock pots and rice cookers.
I have a slow cooker,
Someone
which is the
else's
same as a
cane full.
crock pot, so it's
Yeah.
pretty well, I think
Rice
so.
cookers are great too for cooking.
Are
Because
they
you can put
No, what I
other
was
things
trying
in
to
rice.
say
Yeah.
was,
Like I put rice, a can of diced tomatoes,
the self-drive cars, which
frozen
is what I'm
vegetables
pushing
and
something
canned
even,
beans
but I,
in my
as
rice
I
cooker,
said, I use voice
and
to
then there you
text.
go, I have them.
I'm
Yeah.
doing a long text,
I
do
have
the
never
voice
had
thing,
rice.
Right.
and I've done this one to,
I love my
right, the daughter.
This, when you were married
Rice
to
cooker is kind of very similar to the one
And
planet.
then I.
when you were married to
So I
an
went
Asian woman
again.
for 15 years, 18 years, pardon me.
Alright, I have to
You
go to the
ate
washroom and
you
catch a
ate-
bus.
you ate enough, you ate enough rice, so
John, are you coming back
I'm
to
going
see
for
my
it.
baby? Okay, I'm gonna use the washroom.
I'm taking a
Anyway, the same.
block hike.
Are you?
Yeah, I did
Well,
it.
it's a beautiful day
I
for
did
it.
it here and I'm doing it back.